Hello everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. If that's you, my name is Kate, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing my July budget and seeing how everything went in the month of July. So this month, if you are following, you already know it was kind of a transitional month where we were getting back on track. We had previously spent a couple of months putting our expenses on the credit card for a couple of reasons. You'll just have to check out the video to find the full explanation. But anyway, this month we were transitioning back to using our debit card for everything. So there are a few things that went on our credit card, but going forward it'll be a whole lot less messy. I want to go over with you guys really quickly how I get all of the numbers for our transactions and our expenses. I realize that I've never really gone over this with you before, even though I have mentioned what I use. At this point, hopefully I'll be able to put a view of my screen where you can see the software that I use, which is called YNAB, which is short for You Need a Budget. It is an online software that I have really enjoyed, and I've used it for over a year. It allows you to sync your bank accounts, your credit card accounts, all of that, and you can import transactions automatically into your YNAB account. So that's what I do. I have our checking account and our credit card linked to YNAB, and then I can pull in all of our transactions so I can see everything that we spend. And this is why I don't really like to use cash, because I just find it so much easier for everything to pull in automatically, and that way I know I'm not missing things. So yeah, in here you can see the list for all of the transactions for our checking account and our credit card account. What happens is when everything gets pulled in, it will either automatically categorize the transaction based on previous transactions by the same name, or I can manually change things, and that's how I designate what money was spent in what category. So I like to check on this and review it about once a week if I'm being really good about it. Sometimes I'll go a couple of weeks without really looking at it, and I'll have to go through a lot of transactions and kind of try to remember what everything was spent on if the description wasn't super clear. But at the end of the month, whether I've been keeping up with it or not, I go through and just double check every single transaction and make sure everything is accurate and that nothing has been miscategorized, and so on. So once I have checked everything out, I will go over to the budget section, and this is where you kind of assign your dollars, their jobs. You can put money in to kind of budget it for a specific category and give it a name, similar to how every dollar works. But in this case, you can only work with the money that's actually already in your account. So you're not necessarily supposed to be planning off of money that you haven't earned yet. Here I have all of my categories sectioned out. So I have a section for all of our regular, like monthly bills, things that are normally the same amount each month or occur at one point in the month on a specific day. Then I have a section for my variable expenses, and I actually have personal money split out even more based on who spent the money or if it's just a general family spend, even though usually when you see my budgets, I will put personal all under one category lumped together. This just allows me to kind of get an idea of where the money was spent. And then down below I have more irregular categories, things that are seasonal expenses or sinking fund type categories as well. So here I can look at the activity in each category in a given month, and that is where I pull all of my numbers for my budget from. So once I have these numbers, I generally just jot them down on a long sticky note like you see here, and then they are ready to transcribe into my budget for you guys to see. I already attempted to film this video earlier today, but a couple of things went wrong, so all of the numbers are already written down, but I'm going to go over them with you in detail. So let's zoom in. Okay. So originally for the month of July, I was trying to plan on living off of 4 weeks worth of paychecks. However, in this month, we did have 5 paydays. I wasn't going to pay myself on this day. However, because we ended up having a lot of large bills due right at the very beginning of August, I went ahead and paid myself here so that we would have the money in the account for what we needed at the beginning of August. And for that reason, you'll see that we ended up with a surplus for this month, but it's kind of just ended up being a balance in the checking account. So the actual total for my paychecks to myself are $4,750. And then we didn't really get anything miscellaneous coming in, so that remained a 0. I do have some cash, but I never really got around to the bank to deposit it, so that will just show up in August, in the August budget. For all of our bills, everything came out as planned. Usually, if I don't know for sure what a bill is going to be, I'll put it in variable. That way I have room for adjustments. So typically these are all as planned. For variable expenses, and we had an interesting month. So the grocery budget was set at $300. This is a little bit low, and normally we do go over, but I've come close a couple of times, so it's reasonably attainable, so I like to keep that as the goal, just as a bit of a challenge to myself. What our actual spending was $458.24. There are a couple of reasons for this, just poor meal planning, things like that, but one of the reasons was because I splurged on trying out a meal delivery service. Now, it's one of the cheaper ones. It's called Every Plate, and I'll have some links below if you're interested, but it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So I intended to cancel the box after the second one that we got. The first one was like half price. Then the second one was full price. And then I didn't really want to be paying, I think it's $68 for 3 meals a week for 4. It's like for 4 people. But it works out pretty well between myself, my husband, and my daughter. And then there's usually like a little bit left over for my husband to take into work for lunch the next day. But anyway, I intended to cancel that, and then I didn't do it in time, and we got a third box that I didn't really want. So that was $68 more than I wanted to spend, but I do still have some of the ingredients in my freezer, so that should help with August a little bit. So we ended up being over $158.24. For gas and auto, this one really just blew my mind this month. I double checked with my husband to make sure that like he didn't use his company card for gas or something weird like that. But there was nothing miscategorized in YNAB. We really just only spent $31.21 on gas. A large part of this is because I am pretty much just home all the time. If I go anywhere, it's like across the street to the post office to ship out orders, or down the road a little bit to drop my daughter off at my mother-in-law's. So I don't drive much, and then my husband must have filled up like right at the end of June, and it just lasted, I don't know. But so we were under by $168.79 here, which is awesome. In the home category, this is normally home improvement and home maintenance, and I originally budgeted $150. We did actually do some spending in this area, but it ended up being on my husband's business card, which is fine. I don't, like, things will sometimes get a little bit confused and put on the wrong cards, and I just figure everything out in QuickBooks. I will obviously mark that as a personal expense, but it wasn't coming out of our credit card or our checking account, so I just went ahead and rolled with that and left it in under budget by $150. There's actually a funny story here. We did some yard work out front. My husband ripped out some overgrown shrubs and things, and it was all weeds, and we were going to order some topsoil and then plant grass and level everything out. And we went to order the topsoil, and the credit card that we were using got declined. And that was kind of the point in the month where I was like, okay, I already knew that we needed to get back on track and stop using the card, but like, this is the defining moment. We need to stop this and get things, under control again. But the joke was that we were dirt poor, like we couldn't afford to buy dirt. So, yeah. Personal money, we spent $66.40, so we were only over by $16.40. It's not too bad. For tithe, the actual amount was $475 because of my increased income, and I wouldn't consider this going over budget, so didn't write anything in for that. My daughter's dance registration, I was planning on it coming out this month, but it did not. I didn't register her until like the very end of the month, and it was a check, so that's not going to come out until August. So I put that in the August budget, but nothing came out here. For medical, we did have $307.70 in medical expenses, so we were over by $57. And some of this ended up going on the credit card, which is okay for now, but obviously in the future everything will be coming out of our debit. For Fidelis, this is my daughter's health insurance. I wasn't sure what the bill was going to be because there was an account credit, and then the bill was different than it had been in previous months, and I didn't really know what to expect. So I thought it was going to be $12. It ended up being $6, so we were under by $6. Now for unbudgeted, there was quite a bit in unbudgeted, $616. And I have a little note over here for what made up that amount. So $579 of it was our homeowner's insurance, which I completely forgot to budget for. It's once a year, July 17th, and I forgot it. So that was a big chunk of it. I also forgot that we were starting to pay for trash pickup, so that was $28, and then $9 for gifts. I bought something that is going along with a larger housewarming gift for my best friend who just closed on their first house. So the total actual spending this month in the variable categories was $1960.63. So if we go down to our totals, I must not have been thinking when I wrote this out because I normally put income first, but I must have forgotten it. So our total leftover amount after all of our expenses was $538.28. Out of this, I actually also paid off $197.36 towards extra debt payments. So that was good. So the remaining would be 300 and some odd dollars is just excess in our checking account. Oops. On this page, I just kind of like to track some random things. I haven't really nailed down the format that I want to keep over here, but this is what I have for now. Savings for our emergency fund obviously is $1,000 still. Our two household debts that we have is our furnace and our credit card. So in the month of July, our starting balance was $6,732.24, and we paid off a good chunk of that, so it ended up at $6,200. Some of this was that extra snowball payment that I was talking about, and some of it was just the minimum payment. For our Navy Federal, we started out the month at $14,900 and then ended, it's a little hard to read because I messed it up, but it's $14,681. And then for sinking funds, I generally don't have very well-structured sinking funds. I more or less operate under put out the next fire. So we do have two savings accounts set up, and we're putting away money for expenses that we're going to have soon. In August, my husband's lease expires, and there was some damage done to the car by an uninsured driver, and we had to get body work done. I'll probably do a separate video on the whole car situation to explain that, and then our purchase of a new vehicle. But about $1,000 of this is going to go towards the body work, and then the rest will go towards down payment for a car. We might put a little more in here before making the purchase, but we'll see. And then also our school taxes are due at the end of September. So at the end of July, I had $850 put away for that. And last but not least, I'm going to start tracking my investments. I don't talk about that much normally because I'm very transparent with everything else, but I think I'm just going to keep this kind of to myself. But I will kind of explain what I have going on. I have two retirement accounts. One is a rollover Roth IRA from my first career job. And this account, it was sitting in a money market account for a really long time, and I just never got around to putting it into any funds or anything. So at one point, probably about 2 years ago, I got the idea to try stock trading with the money in this account. So I call it my fun investment money. And I am by no means an expert, but I do enjoy looking into stocks and following things. And every once in a while, I will make what I think to be a good investment. And yeah, so I actually made some trades this morning, and so I'm going to see how those turn out. But then this second item is the 401k from my last job that I just left being full-time, and I now subcontract for them. But this is just sitting in a regular growth mutual fund. So yeah, the stock trading kind of helps me feel a little bit less guilty about not contributing to retirement currently. So anyway, by the way, like I said, I am by no means an expert with investments or trading or anything, so please don't ask me for advice. Talk to a real financial advisor for yourself. But that is it for the July budget. I don't think I missed anything, but if something wasn't clear or if I didn't explain something, please feel free to ask about it down below in the comments. I always do my best to respond to you guys, and I love hearing from you. Really, truly love hearing from you. The past couple of videos that I've had, the support just blows my mind, and I don't know what I would do without you guys. You're so supportive and sweet. I just love it. So thank you. It really means more to me than you could possibly know. So coming up soon, I would look out for that car video that I talked about. If you have any questions or advice ahead of time, please let me know. It's been a while since I've purchased a car, so we're really looking to, we've actually been doing really good. We've been talking ourselves down budget wise, so we're down to looking for something under 8,000. At least that's my personal goal. We do need something that's at least somewhat reliable, because my car is old and a piece of garbage, and I literally, just to give you an idea, I literally went to open my car door a couple of days ago, and like the door handle fell off. So my car needs a lot of repairs. So it's at the end of its life. So what we need to buy now is something that's just good enough to get us through. I do have some news and updates for you guys if you want to stick around for that. I have, a little bit out of reach here. I have the October kits that just landed in my shop on Monday, so these are now available. And in case you missed September, I have those here as well. So those are really fun. I'll have, of course, links down below. Something else that I have been playing around with and trying to get started is offering freebies for you guys. On my website, you can find a free download for a pre-planning budget worksheet that you saw in my last video. It's not super pretty. I do need to reformat it and fix it up a little bit, but what I have now is available for you guys to download if you would find that useful. And also, I kind of played around with doing, doing phone, like lock screen and wallpaper. This is the one of the October kit designs. So for the wallpaper, I kept it kind of simple because I don't like it when things are too busy, but you do see the design peeking out here, and then on the lock screen, it's in a little more detail. But let me know what you think. You can find it on my website at caffeinatedkate.com/freebies. Of course, I'll just have the link for that down below as well. But if you have any requests for specific designs that you want me to get out first, maybe, I can prioritize those if you request them. Also, if you guys have a YouTube channel, please link it below. I asked for this on my Instagram as well. Let me know below. I would love to follow you back, and then the link will be there for other people to check out too. I think that's everything that I wanted to mention. So again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me and to watch this video. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Bye guys!